And I want to say that the reason we're here today is not simply to bemoan the transportation crisis we have, but to find solutions and to create an agenda for change. The transportation crisis in this city affects each of us in countless ways. The sustainability of our environment, our economy, and the fleeting minutes we claim for ourselves every day are at their core concerns of our transportation network. How we move from place to place patches so many acts of life together, and these acts are now in jeopardy. With 1 million people coming here in less than 2 decades, it is time for action, and it's time we reconcile New York's imminent growth with its pressing and inevitable transportation needs. It is time we find consensus to move forward. Today, we have invited experts and leaders from all backgrounds to address these challenges. You know, the most recognizable feature of our transportation crisis is the amount of time we actually spend in transit. We are a city of commuters. 70% of the people who work in Manhattan do not live here. So for us, distance is measured in minutes, not miles. The average commute in the metropolitan area is 34.2 minutes, 9 minutes longer than the national average, the second longest in the country. And our buses average 7.5 miles per hour. It's the slowest in the country. So we have to ask, what do we lose by spending so much time in transit? Does our quality of life suffer from all the coming ins and going? And is there a point when commuting becomes so unpalatable that people just stop doing it? These are the questions we set out to answer today. And when we talk about transportation, we also have to talk about our environment. Every day, 840,000 vehicles enter Midtown Manhattan. That's a lot of traffic, but it's also a lot of pollutants. Our pollution levels are so high that New York City has far exceeded the caps set by the National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Some neighborhoods have it worse than others. In East Harlem, 1 in 4 children suffer from asthma, the highest rate in the country, due to idling trucks and buses. Asthma is the #1 reason why New York City kids miss school, and it's responsible for more hospital bills than almost any other ailment. A transportation agenda for the future must take responsibility for the health of our environment and our citizens. And as we plan for the future, we also have to address our underserved communities. Transportation connects people and places and then develops them. Northern Manhattan was literally cow pastures until subways linked it to downtown. Many communities, both social and geographic, are still isolated for lack of public transportation. We fail when our lowest income residents travel the farthest and longest to work. And we also fail when New Yorkers with disabilities cannot board a subway car. And we fail when our seniors are endangered because vehicles refuse to stop. We will have achieved an acceptable transportation agenda only when we stop failing and start promoting equality and access for all. And I just want to talk about our economy. Manhattan may generate 500,000 new jobs by 2025, but we do take our economic growth for granted. Growth needs space, and right now, our transit system does not have it. New York City wastes an estimated $6.8 billion per year sitting in traffic. So sooner or later, we're going to reach this tipping point, and congestion will deter companies from doing business here. The workforce could move, and the magnetic force of this city could grow dim. We cannot let that happen in New York City. And I hope that it becomes pretty clear that transportation in a growing city has implications for all facets of our lives. Yes, growth is inevitable, but we will be stronger and better prepared if we think for the future and truly manage our region's growth. And I do mean region, because let's not fool ourselves. If we develop transportation solutions for Manhattan alone, it's not going to be effective. Every day, millions of people converge here, but they come from somewhere else. So we do have to talk about Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and the Bronx. Both the challenges we face when they come here and the challenges they face within their own borders. Afternoon bus routes between Manhattan and the Bronx can run slower than Amtrak service between Manhattan and Philadelphia. In Staten Island, only 18% of residents do not have cars. Yet we are cutting back on bus service while telling them to drive less. The accident-prone nature of Queens Boulevard has left it with the nickname, the Boulevard of Death. And in Brooklyn, the gridlocked intersection of Flatbush and Atlantic sits poised for new development, and managing growth in that borough is the theme of the day. These are just a glimpse of our realities, but they show the importance and necessity of thinking broadly about our problem. Cities around the world have shown us what a comprehensive agenda can be. London imposed congestion pricing on its economic center, increased bus service, and traffic plummeted. Mass transit ridership went up, and the business district became a reborn economic hub. In Copenhagen, bike and bus lanes changed the way people get around. The streets became fluid in a way we have never seen here. Solutions are within our grasp. We are now poised for that change. And people will make adjustments if we give them reason to. There are many great ideas already afloat. Some proposals have wide support: Second Avenue subway, Trans-Hudson Tunnel, light rail. Other solutions like congestion pricing and bus rapid transit should be part of this discussion. But we need explicit policies and the will to pursue them. If we need any more reason to move forward, let's just take a quick step back. Just over 100 years ago, New York laid the first tracks of what is now the largest subway system in the world. They built tracks into the wilderness because they had a hunch that transportation would spur development, and it did. But now we have another wilderness before us, a new set of challenges. It's now time for action again. Today is about collaboration, about coming together to define the problems we face, hammering out our internal conflicts, and developing solutions we can all get behind. This is no doubt a big undertaking. So let us remember as we talk today that our independence and interdependence are one and the same. By foot, bike, taxi, or subway, we ultimately travel the same streets. A system that works is one that will work for all of us. Transportation, in many ways, is a network of democracy. Transportation connects and transportation develops. And if we do our job right, the strength of that network will be nothing less than the strength of this city and our society for decades to come. Thank you very much.